Hi, it's Gab and Dad, and we're here reviewing Rock of Ages. Dad, what's it about?
Oh God, I was afraid you'd ask that question.
Oh God, that's never a good start.
It's set in Hollywood in what, the 1980s?
1987.
In 1987, it's about sort of rock and roll. It centers around a rock and roll venue called the Bourbon Room. And it's
Fictitious place.
Fictitious place. And it's about, I guess the central story is two young people trying to get into the rock and roll business, trying to make a career as singers.
Yeah, like A Star is Born kind of.
And who kind of fall in love also. And that's about it.
Well, yeah, it's the essential young romantic character, but also revolves heavily around the club's survival, the club owner being Alec Baldwin.
Yes, that's a secondary point.
And then there's some people who are against the club and rock and roll, and so side stories.
Yeah.
It's basically
it's a musical.
As you said,
it's a musical.
There's
a lot of singing and dancing.
It's a musical. It's by the guy who did the Hairspray movie. And what do you think about a musical movie? As soon as almost from the very beginning of the movie, they start to sing. And Dad goes, oh God, they're singing. And it's like, well, yeah.
Well, somewhat to my surprise, I actually quite enjoyed this movie.
Hey, there you go.
It had a certain kind of weirdness to it that appealed to me. And I have to say...
Because it was a musical or something else weird
No,
about
there was
it?
a kind of a certain amount of irony. There was kind of an ironic touch to a lot of it. It was making fun of itself. And I enjoyed that. But I have to say that what made the movie for me was Tom Cruise. I've never been a great fan of Tom Cruise, but he played a rock and roll kind of super god called Stacey Jacks, and he was really terrific. He was very, very funny.
Yeah.
And for me,
believable.
Believable.
In that world.
I don't know. But that made the movie for me.
Tom Cruise was great. I'm
he
not
was
a
very
huge fan
good.
either, but he really went for it, and it was amusing, but as I said, believable as a rock star, that kind of rock star.
I never thought of Tom Cruise as a great comic actor. He's very, very funny.
And it's not all comedy, but the whole, as you say, the whole movie has a really nice tongue-in-cheek tone to it, which really saves it, because otherwise, if it took itself seriously...
it would be appalling.
It would be. I kind of have trouble with musicals. It's like as soon as people start singing, it just takes you, for me, it takes you out of it, and it's so
also,
uncomfortable. It's bizarre.
I have to say the young couple, the two major protagonists, particularly the woman, I didn't care for them very much.
I didn't care for her at all.
No, she was
terrible. I liked the guy. He's all right.
She was very kind of saccharine.
The rest of the cast was really good too. I really
Catherine Zeta-Jones is terrific.
Alec Baldwin was good. Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Even Russell Brand. I mean, the cast was good. They all were having lots of fun.
But
they all sang.
Tom Cruise
stands really made it. And I have to talk about the music. This is great music. It really reminded me. I mean, maybe not so much for you, but this is music I grew up in. I don't want to date myself, but 1987 was the year I started high school, so I just stayed with myself. And these are great songs, and you really start to feel it. I mean, Dad used to take me to rock concerts. He had to be my chaperone when I was younger, and he used to watch rock videos with me. He was a cool dad. So, do you remember this music? How do you feel about the music?
I like the music. I mean, it's very compelling, a lot of it.
It's just good songs, and there's a lot of music. There's a lot of singing. The story is weak to bad, and I didn't like the main central young romance, but I guess you kind of have to have that. But otherwise, you know what? I had more fun at this movie than I probably should have, that I expected to.
And I enjoyed it too, somewhat to my surprise. But I've got an idea. If I were a Hollywood kind of, big-time producer, you know what I would do? I would take Rock of Ages and Prometheus and blend them into a kind of a rock and roll kind of musical.
Don't give them any ideas.
About space.
I thought you were going to say you'd make Rock of Ages into a stage show, because it's based on a stage show. And actually, even though I really liked the movie, I left it feeling like almost I wish I'd rather seen the stage show, because the way it makes you feel, I think, is more in tune with a live performance kind of show. And I'm sure it's a great stage show. But as a film, not bad, kind of a lot of fun if you like the music.
It's worth going to see it just to see Tom Cruise.
So,
I've never been a great fan of Tom Cruise, but in this movie, he's terrific.
I gotta agree with you. So, but overall,
I'm going with 4 dads.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I'm going with 4 dads.
Wow, I'm going with 3.5 Gabs, just because it was all music to me and Tom Cruise, but as a film, as a story, weak. So I can only go 3.5 Gabs.
Yeah, I'm not rating it on the story. The story, of course, is weak, as it generally is in musicals. I'm rating it on the acting, primarily Tom Cruise. Primarily Tom Cruise, but also Paul Giamatti, Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's
tough, this one, to critique, but I mean, I did leave the theater just now sort of, snapping my fingers with a good feeling, so whatever that tells you.
There you go. Go see it. You'll enjoy it.
Rock of Ages. Thanks for watching.